Matt Forte's 8 years with the Bears were memorable, more than anyone expected. This guy is the second leading rusher in Bears history, trailing only Walter Payton. He's #1 all-time in rushing yards per game, rushing touchdowns, and total yards. That is not bad for a running back drafted in the second round out of Tulane. Welcome back. Lou Canellis at our Fox 32 studios, joined by one of the great Bears running backs, good friend, great guy, Matt Forte. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be here.
Good to see you. It's been a while. You miss these Sunday mornings where you're getting taped right now, getting ready for the Patriots at Soldier Field?
I do. I do miss that locker room feel of the anticipation going into the game and being in there with the fellas. You know, you'll probably hear 99% of all retired athletes or pros say they miss the locker room the most. You miss the guys. I don't miss waking up on Monday morning, you know,
and
limping
like
to the bathroom and having blood and scratches all over me. But yeah, I do miss the anticipation of the game.
You know, Bears are working on an 8-game winning streak at home. Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy playing in front of the fans at Soldier Field?
My favorite stadium. Favorite stadium to play in is Soldier Field. Just the atmosphere and the historical, you know, part of Soldier Field being the naming around it, the meaning around it. I mean, the statue of Walter Payton, just the history behind it, and the history of the Bears in the NFL and how deep and how far it goes back.
All right, now before we get back into the Bears, I want to talk to you because I know that you've done a little TV. Mm-hmm. And you enjoy the business, and now you've got your own podcast, the Sports Spectrum Podcast. Tell me about it. How did you get into the podcast business?
I've regained a platform that has started before I even got there. It's been built by my friend and my buddy who's the co-host, Jason Romano, who took it and ran with it for the past 7 years, and has built a great following and a great platform. And I'm stepping in as a pro to have a pro voice towards it because we speak to mainly pro athletes, but coaches, you know, people who have great stories and testimonies because sports really do transcend things into issues that come into life. When it comes down to it, there's certain issues that while playing that you may be blind to, and it's like, man, this is going to be forever. But I do tell a lot of young guys, sports and pro athletics is not going to be forever. You're going to have an end date, there's an expiration date on it, and what do you do afterwards? And what makes it when you turn the success that you've had on the field into significance off the field? That's what I want to do with the platform of Sports Spectrum.
Okay. I want you to be honest and critical if you need be. What has happened to the Bears the last 2 games?
Offensive production, it's not really been there. You can't place the blame on one person. You can't place the blame on one thing. It's a group effort. It's the ultimate team sport. When playing running back, I could do nothing if my offensive line didn't block. And then even as an offensive coordinator, has to call the right plays in the right timing to get me in position to make good plays. How they respond and react from the last 2 weeks is going to give a foreshadow or give a hint into the future of the Bears right now going into the end of this season. I've been on teams where we started out well and then things start happening. You may have a 2 or 3 game losing streak, and then by the time the first quarter, you know, happens in the next game, you see that face on other guys like, here we go again. And it can't be like that. That's when your leaders have to step up.
Well, I remember because when you played, Matt, you were a leader. You were a guy. Brandon Marshall said it too when you guys played together. You would get in front of the locker room and say, hey, stand up and talk on behalf of the team. What would you tell this team if you were on this team and you were a leader?
I would tell them to focus on right now. Focus on what we're doing right now and where we got to go from here. You had a pivotal influx in the season right now. You're 4-4, and you got a big schedule ahead of you. And you haven't played a lot of divisional games yet anyway. So with going forward, Lovey used to always tell us, if you win a division, then you get into the playoffs. And so going forward, they have some tough battles against a good team that is the Lions, who is, they're hot right now. Not sleeping on Green Bay, they're really good too, and it's hard to win in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. But then also with Minnesota, their defense is surprised a lot of people, and the way that their offense has been playing has surprised a lot of people, even with their quarterback going down early in the season or before the season even started. But so they have their work cut out for them. But I would get up there and tell them, man, it's not about anything else but us. It's about you right now. So look yourself in the mirror, do a self-inventory, and check out what's in there, what needs to stay, and what needs to get out. And if there's anybody at practice who's moping around or somebody that's not in line, get them out. I don't care if it's a starter. Take them out, and everybody who's on this ship, stay on the ship. And that's coaches, that's management, that's players, that's everybody involved.
Do you think there's a disconnect between the coaches and any of the players?
I think with what happened at the Commanders game, what happened out there, that there is the beginning of that, because for them to sit Stevenson after something like that, even, you know, though he made a mistake, and coaches make mistakes too, management makes mistakes too, but you don't see them sit out a game or sit out the first half or first, you know, series, especially if you make your apology for it, and then you know there's remorse and there's going to be better going forward.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming back. Good to see you.
It's always good to be here, man. Thanks,
man. Good to see you.